Hey everyone, my name is Alex and welcome to another Civ 6 video. Now in today's video we're going to take a retrospective look at the New Frontiers Pass, which is literally just finished. We're going to decide whether it was good or not essentially, and also try and give some people that maybe haven't yet bought it an idea of whether it's worth picking up or not. So hopefully it will either be interesting or fun. I've got to thank you for your comments when I put a community post out for this, just for your opinions. They were really useful in sort of forming this video, mixing them with my own. So thank you to everybody who did get involved, and also make sure you let me know what you think to the New Frontiers Pass down in the comment section of this video. So just before we jump into my good points, I want to mention that some of this stuff is really subjective. Like, things I enjoyed, maybe other people didn't. Things other people enjoyed, maybe I didn't. So just remember that this is obviously opinion based, and like I said, share your opinion in the comments, but this stuff is subjective. So at the forefront of any civilization expansion is the civilizations, and on the whole the New Frontiers Pass, in my opinion, had a nice selection. I know not everybody agrees with this and some people were underwhelmed, but this is why I think the civs are actually quite a good variation. So the new civs were Gran Colombia, the Maya, Ethiopia, Byzantium, Gaul, Babylon, Vietnam, Portugal, and Kublai Khan was also added as an alternate leader for both Mongolia and China. So some people, like I said, are not too fussed about this, and I totally get that. But for me, the selection is good because it includes a few highly requested civs such as Byzantium, Portugal. I think Ethiopia was also a really big requested civ, whilst it also experimented with a few lesser known civs. Most predominantly for me was Gran Colombia. Seeing that get announced as the first civ for the New Frontiers Pass was very exciting. It's a civ I don't think's been in a civilization game before, and I think a lot of people would have found learning about Gran Colombia very, very interesting. Playstyle wise, I thought the New Frontiers Pass actually experimented with a few unique features for civilizations as well. The Maya, for example, are a civ which you can truly play tall with. Well, you basically have to play tall with rather than wide. And also Babylon's take on Eurekas and science requires a totally unique playstyle compared to what you will play with other civilizations. So yes, I understand these civs were not everyone's cup of tea. I know that a lot of people do say that the civs are too focused on Europe throughout the whole game, and I get that. But as an expansion on its own, I thought it had a good variety, which I was pretty satisfied with. The next major positive I want to talk about is the introduction of optional game modes, a real highlight of mine for the New Frontiers Pass. Now what these are is essentially optional game modes that can be toggled on or off at the start of the game, and instead of changing the game mechanics completely like things did in Rise and Fall and Gathering Storm, they either enhance an existing game feature or perhaps they introduce a small new one. Now, my favourite of the game modes was easily Secret Societies. That game mode gave you access to one of 4 secret societies in every game and just boosted a certain aspect of the game. For example, if you picked the Owls of Minerva when playing Secret Societies, you could make a ton of money, and it really does add something a little bit different to the game. Now, there are, I think, 6 game modes on offer in the New Frontiers Pass, all of which explore different bits. For example, like I said, Secret Societies has things like the Owls of Minerva, which boost your finance, and there's a lot of variability in the different Secret Societies. But then also in other game modes, such as the Apocalypse game mode, that changes and puts the climate change and disasters on steroids, essentially. So they all work with different bits of the game. Now, individually, most of them are fun. The zombie game mode and the apocalypse game mode are not for me so much. But when you start combining these game modes with one, toggling more of them on in a single game, so you're playing with multiple game modes on at a time, different combinations, and also trying these out with different civilizations as well, it adds a ton of replayability. And this is what these game modes have done so well, is that they play with the mechanics in a way that it makes them more interesting, but it also sort of makes certain mechanics overpowered. So when you want to play with them on and really make certain mechanics quite powerful, you can just play with the game mode on. However, if you don't want to do it, just turn it off. And what that does, it gives you so many more options on how to play the game, and offers, like I said, a ton more replayability. I want to make this point here. I want to see more game modes in future Civ DLC, whether that's for Civ 6 or Civ 7 in the future, hopefully. So game modes is definitely something that should stick around. So the final big positive I want to talk about with the New Frontiers Pass is the level of creativity it's allowed for Araxis to play with. Now, as I just said, obviously the game modes can be toggled on and off, which gave them sort of more freedom to make them a bit more radical because they weren't a permanent fixture in the game. But just with the civilizations as well, just with everything we've seen with the New Frontiers Pass, I like how they've just push the limits a bit more. We've already got 2 solid expansions in Rise and Fall and Gathering Storm that really did an awful lot for the core gameplay. But what they've done with the New Frontiers Pass is they've evaluated and accepted, yes, we already have a lot of game-changing stuff in Rise and Fall and Gathering Storm. So let's just try and be a bit more radical. Let's try a few more exciting things, a few more creative things, and then give players the choice of whether they want to add them or not. The New Frontiers Pass for me is certainly an add-on pack. Make sure you get Rise and Fall and Gathering Storm first, but then when you've got them, if you want more content, this is a perfect way just to kind of put the cherry on the top of the cake sort of thing, to give players more options and more things to do, and I think that is what the New Frontiers Pass has done really, really well. So although I am very positive on the New Frontiers Pass, as you can probably tell, I do have a few of my own complaints and also a few things which I'd like to mention which other people have talked about. So first up, let's just revisit the civilization selection thing. Not everybody likes the selection of civilizations in the New Frontiers Pass. As I made pretty clear, I do, but just to note, maybe if you're a bit on the fence with whether to buy this, do check out the civs for yourself, because not everybody is a fan of the selection. Like I said, there is a very genuine point made by a lot of civ fans that there's too many European civilizations in the game, or essentially Europe's overrepresented compared to the rest of the world. That's a point I see made quite a bit, and which I do understand. Another thing I would mention, now this is not a big deal for me at all, like I don't really care about this because we've already got 2 big expansions, but the New Frontiers Pass does not change the gameplay up on the scale that Rise and Fall did with the introduction of features including eras and ages, etc., or that Gathering Storm did with the climate change and the diplomatic victory. So, like I said, I don't care about this, but some people are bothered that the New Frontiers Pass doesn't change the core game mechanics as much as the other expansions did. But as I say, I view the New Frontiers Pass as a bit of an add-on pack compared to that. Now, one of my personal negatives with the New Frontiers Pass, and I'm going to sound so grumpy saying this, but you know, I've got to get my honest opinion out there, is I don't like the introduction of a lot of the fantasy content rather than historical. Now, that's probably because in my brain I'm about 75 rather than in my 20s, but I am a sucker for keeping things historical in historical games. And what the New Frontiers Pass has done is it's experimented with things like vampires and zombies, which just isn't for me. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not a game breaker, it's not a deal breaker. I don't actually sit there playing Civ 6 with vampires in secret societies getting very angry and, you know, punching my screen. I can deal with it, but I like to keep them things separate. But that's just my opinion, and I'm sure that a lot of people out there do like this sort of experimentation. So my overall verdict on the New Frontiers Pass, well, I have enjoyed it. I have enjoyed it so much, and the complaints I've made are minimal, and they in no way take away from the strength of the pass, in my opinion. For most people, my advice would be to treat this as an add-on pack, once you own the vanilla game with both Rise and Fall and Gathering Storm. Now, the reason you've got to do that is twofold. One, as I've talked about it through the video, it's sort of designed as an add-on pack. It's designed to build on the core mechanics that the base game Rise and Fall and Gathering Storm all include. But the other reason you need to do that is because you literally can't play some of this stuff without owning Rise and Fall and Gathering Storm. So do make sure you get those expansions first. Like I said, this is very much an add-on pack. Another thing to mention is that you can actually buy each individual pack in the New Frontiers Pass individually, or you can buy the pass as one. It's totally up to you. Maybe if you're a bit tight for cash, you could just go and pick the ones you really want to with the game modes that sound most appealing to you and the civilizations which seem most appealing to you as well. One thing I would say on the New Frontiers Pass is I definitely like to see something like this either before we move on to Civ 7, so another one for Civ 6, or perhaps after a few major DLCs in Civ 7. This is very much an add-on pack, as I will keep saying, so yeah, hopefully we get to see something like this again, but I've really enjoyed it, and hopefully we get more Civ content in the near future as well. Thank you for watching this video today. Make sure to see another one of our Civ 6 videos, that you like this video and subscribe to the channel as well. Also, let me know what you think to the New Frontiers Pass down in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex, and I will see you in another video soon.